What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yeah, Stellantis shares have dipped after earnings miss reported. That sucks. That's as of Friday. Ugh, just miserable, man. Every time I think we're getting ahead, or I think we're, we're getting to where we need to be, something happens. Now, did they miss? Why did they miss earnings? Well, when you're having to clean up the mess of a former CEO, it doesn't bode well. And Carlos Tavares was such a friggin' disaster that I think Antonio Filosa is going to be cleaning that up for a minute. So guys, before we get into today's video, I got to talk about what we've been doing with the giveaways with the Ram 1500 and the Ram 2500 on the channel. The 400X entries is over, both for Goodies Popcorn and for OBD Tech with the Ram 2500. But Goodies Popcorn came out and said, hey, we need to 500X these. Let's do X amount of these double box sets. As a thank you to them, for buying our product. And I was like, okay, we'll set it up, and it's live now. So you can get 500X entries on that double box, the 2 boxes of popcorn, which is up at tk'sgarage.bigcartel.com. And it will run until, I believe he said Wednesday, but if you look in the description on the product, it will tell you when it's up, how many are left, or how many they're going to sell, and when it will be up. So definitely go check it out at tk'sgarage.bigcartel.com. And that is for the 1500 Ram Laramie only. All right, that's not for the 2500. That has to do with OBD Tech, and they're still doing their thing. I'm sure they're probably going to come back and do something, seeing what Goodies just did. But hey, we'll see what happens, right? Goodies has got this in right now until they're sold out. And at the time of me recording this, you have all day Saturday, so we'll see what happens. We have the Army-Navy game. I don't know what's going to happen there. And these could be all sold out before you even see the video. Who knows? But getting into today's video, Stellantis' new chief executive, and that's Antonio Filosa, charts the turnaround as the stock gains 1% since January. Now, 1%, you'd be like, that's horrible, right? That really sucks. But when you think about the fact that halfway through the year, the company had lost over $2.5 billion with a B in the middle of the year, this is actually good news. All right. Now the shares are down. The shares were down about 0.15 to 0.17. It kept going back and forth. So about 0.2%. Okay. And I've only managed to squeeze out 1% gain since the start of the year. However, Antonio Filosa, the new chief executive of the French-Italian-American car maker, has worked out a roadmap to turn things around. Early Thursday, Stellantis' stock dropped over 5% as several Wall Street analysts maintained their bearish outlook on the company. I think they're stupid, but that's just me. What's Stellantis' current strategy? Inside sources have told Reuters that Filosa, unlike his predecessor, that retard, Carlos Tavares, is emphasizing sales growth rather than profit margins. Remember I told you investors and shareholders really like to see cash flow? And I'm just coming at this from a business perspective. They love to see that. Anybody that's looking to invest in your business or do something with, if you watch Shark Tank, what's one of the biggest things that you hear the investors, the sharks, freak out about? Oh, you made how much? You did how much already? $1 million something in sales? They like to hear cash flow. It is one of the most important things for a company. Amazon is a prime example. You could lose billions of dollars for years before it turns around and then you take over the world. Literally how it works, man. Filosa, who was appointed CEO in May, is stepping up fleet deliveries. We talked about that, 2 weeks ago? And pushing budget-friendly vehicles to regain ground in North America and Europe. Yeah, you know what? Some of those budget-friendly vehicles. Remember that I told you that they're going to come with that Halo car, the Duster, whatever that mini-looking Viper is going to be. There's going to be some affordable muscle, if that's what you want to call it, coming to Dodge dealerships here very soon. Stellantis announced Tavares' exit in December. Yeah, they literally put the Timberlands in his asshole and told him to get the fuck out. His departure came amid the car maker's declining sales. Can Stellantis make a comeback in 2026? Now, I hate some of these speculators because they're also wrong. They also were like, oh, there's nothing wrong. Like, some of these people are the same idiots that were around back in nothing's gonna happen 2008, and then the whole market went to shit. The revelation comes as UBS analyst Patrick Hummel recently noted that Stellantis is expected to stage a comeback in 2026 with its gas-powered vehicles. You don't say. You mean the same ones that you tried to retire because you said the shit wouldn't sell? Interesting how that works. The Netherlands-based company is the world's fourth largest automobile manufacturer and makers of the brands such as Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge. You mean makers of the brands that actually make you all your money? Yes, that's what they are. And they need to stop calling them a Netherlands company. Yes, I know, they're registered in the Netherlands. If that's the case, we need to start calling Apple an Irish company because they're there to avoid taxes. Google too. So just miss me with that, all right? It better not. All right, where was I at? So it says, Filosa's strategy appears to be paying off as Stellantis is now seeing rising sales across the U.S. and Europe. You mean those Rams with the V8s that we said if you brought back, people would buy them like hotcakes and you wouldn't be able to keep them on a lot? You mean those vehicles, that engine, the Hemi that you said we didn't need anymore? That one, Carlos Tavares, you fucking retard? Yeah, that one. However, Stellantis recently expanded its U.S. investment to a record $13 billion. Multiple vehicle recalls issued this year pose a reputational risk. It's not even a reputation, it's just cash flow. It's just a pain in the ass. So when you have this kind of stuff that's going on, and every time you start to get a little bit of traction and then someone goes and hits you right in the face, just pow, and you just take one right and just, it's going to rock you back for a second. And that's what's been consistently happening. But this isn't stuff that's new from the people that are running the company now. This is all leftover shit from Carlos Tavares. Period. End of story. So I'm telling you this, and this, I have to say this, I say this every time I talk about it because we're talking about investment. I'm invested into the company heavily. I told you I was going to buy in when I saw the things that I thought I needed to see. And I did. So I know you're going to say, well, then what you're saying is biased because you want the company to win. No shit. No shit, I want the company to win. My money's tied up in it. But do you think this channel, whether it has 200 and something thousand people and millions of people that watch it every month, is going to influence what happens with that company or the stock? You're out of your rabbit ass mind. Just my opinion. And I invested in something that I believe in and brands that I care about. So I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the turnaround so far? I know everybody wants the Hellcats right now, right? And I will give Tim Kuniskis and Matt at Dodge and even Antonio some credit here. Because, I was always getting my information. I still get my information from sources which I'm sure drives some of them batshit crazy. But they've also allowed me a look into the company that I wouldn't have got otherwise if I hadn't gone to some of the Dodge events or Ram events or whatever. All right. And getting that looking glass, being able to look in and be able to see stuff kind of not from their point of view, but being able to have a conversation that I don't have to have on the internet. You know, you can learn a lot of stuff behind the scenes, if that means anything. And as somebody that's worked in intelligence most of his life, it's huge. And it gives me a very keen insight into, I already know shit from people that are telling on a regular basis, but then I also get the insight from the guys that are actually making the decisions that run that company. And to be blessed enough to be able to have that, to be able to talk to those people and get that information, it gives me a view of why you don't see, well, why you can't have Hellcats right away, right? Because as somebody that's not a guy who builds cars for a living or doesn't understand everything and how that industry works, now I have a better insight and what goes into that. Yeah, do you think Matt doesn't want to have a friggin' 426 Hemi and a Charger tomorrow? Of course he does. CEO of Dodge would love that, but you have to go through certification. It's got to go through this bullshit with NHTSA. You got to go through all of this shit just to get it to market. Are they doing that? Yes, but it takes time. It's why the Ram came back out with the V8 with the e-torque. Did Tim Kuniskis want to come out immediately with the e-torque? Probably is like an option. No, they wanted the regular goddamn Hemi, but they couldn't just bring it out without having to take all of that time to go through certification. They already were certified with the e-torque, so boom, they could pop it right in and bring it back. And to be honest, they've been selling good and they haven't had a ton of issues. So even for somebody like me that's not an e-torque fan, been pretty solid. So let me know what you guys think about the turnaround in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, tk'sgarage.bigcartel.com if you're trying to win the Ram 1500 or the Ram 2500. Goodies has that 500X on that double box of popcorn right now. OBD Tech just has their regular 200X entries or whatever they're doing on their scanners and extra entries. That's it. The 400X entries with them are over. I'm sure now that Goodies did the 500 that they might try to do something, but I haven't heard anything from them, so we'll see. But anyways, until next time, thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, stay petty, my friends.